with an unfortunate update on Liv Morgan's title reign and more. This is Wrestling Hub. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report for July 3rd. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. Speaking to Sports Illustrated about larger-than-life stars in WWE, The Undertaker explained how Cody Rhodes has evolved since returning to the company. From his first trip in to where he is now, Cody has a much better grasp of who he is. It's great to be part of a legacy in the business. Cody's dad is one of the all-time greats. That also makes it very tough for people like Cody, Dustin, and Charlotte Flair. It takes a minute to figure out who you are. No one can be Dusty. Naturally, though, you fall into that trap of trying to be like him. The first time Cody came through, he was trying to figure out who he was. Now he knows. Yes, he keeps the legacy alive. His dad was the American Dream, he's the American Nightmare. That's cool how he's merged that, and he's pulled a few things from Dusty's repertoire. Cody is his own man now, and he believes in himself. I don't think he did the first time though. Sometimes it takes going away to someplace else, and his time away served him well. During a sneak peek of Table for 3, Undertaker recalled how former WWE star Mideon destroyed his iconic motorcycle. So this bike I put him on is the first bike that I bought when I finally got out of debt from getting into wrestling. The bike is going on eBay that day to sell. So he takes off, and as soon as he takes off, he was almost directly straight off the road and stops. I'm like, whoa, let's get that choking and everything. So we get it back up on the asphalt and he takes off again. He takes the most perfect backdrop you've ever seen over the top of my ape hangers. He lands on the asphalt and bounces right back up to his feet, and he goes, I'm okay. And I'm not even looking at him. I'm just looking at my bike, and the motor is still running. So I'm looking at all the damage, and finally I look up at him and I make eye contact with him, and he goes, I'll go pack my bags. Following her fight against Macy Barber at UFC 276 last night, former flyweight title challenger Jessica I talked about plans for her following retirement from MMA. Well, I'm going to go to Cabo in a month because I'm turning 36. I've always wanted to dabble in wrestling and pro wrestling. I want to be the female Undertaker, and I want to ride a motorcycle down to the octagon and DDT somebody. I'd love to do that. And you know, I tried out a couple of years ago during COVID, and I ended up making it. You know, suffered a lot of health issues. Lost my gallbladder, found out about the parasite, so you know, AEW WWE, let's go. Jessica Evil Eye is ready. You know, Jessica Evil Eye does not end here. She's just starting a new journey. After coming up short and losing his US title to Lashley, Theory would enter the Money in the Bank ladder match and win, securing a world title shot anytime, any place. Following his victory, Theory would grab a mic and proceed to call out John Cena. Here's the video.
You can't deny the gift. You can't deny the talent. You can't deny at only 24 years old, the youngest, Mr. Money in the Bank in WWE history. Just remember one thing, Las Vegas. I'm going to enjoy my night as Mr. Money in the Bank, and all of you will go back to being the losers that you are. Hey, it ain't easy being the best looking, the best in the ring, going straight to the top. Ain't nobody touching you, not even John Cena. Because everyone else's time is up, and my time is now.
Recalling his iconic match from Backlash against Randy Orton in 2004, Mick Foley revealed that the Legend Killer was not keen on using thumbtacks in the bout, which he would end up taking a bump on in the ring. As Foley said on his podcast, "You can't fake the shock that he was in. His eyes were just wide open. I'd bring him up to the ramp and throw him off the ramp, which also gives me a little bit of time to rest up as that camera goes over and over. Mike Chioda goes to check on Randy, and all Randy can say is, Chioda, those tacks were a bad idea. He's really feeling it, and now I come off that ring apron with what I think is the best elbow of my career, partially because it's captured with that low angle shot. I couldn't have dropped a better one in my life." While the Street Profits came up short in their tag title match against the Usos last night, Dave Meltzer noted on Wrestling Observer Radio what WWE could have planned for Montez Ford. "I know there are people who want to push Ford as a single star. I can see them doing something with Ford as a single. There are people high on him right now, especially with his new physique." After winning the Money in the Bank contract and cashing in on Ronda Rousey to become SmackDown Women's Champion last night, Liv Morgan reacted to her win, saying, "This is like the feeling I've been searching for my whole life. This is all I've ever, oh my gosh, this is all I've ever wanted. This is all I've ever wanted since I was a little girl, and I literally can't believe I have it. It was amazing. It was everything. I did this for the WWE fans. I did this for you guys. You guys believe in me so much. I wanted to give you something to believe in. We did it. We're champions. We did it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Thank you." Revealing plans for Liv Morgan, the Wrestling Observer said, "The fans won't be happy with Liv losing the title at SummerSlam, but I don't think the idea is to go with Ronda as a heel, because Charlotte Flair is going to be your opponent when she comes back." After becoming arguably the biggest star in wrestling in WWE, Hulk Hogan left the company in 1993, which took a toll on Vince McMahon's relationship with the star. Talking about attempts to rebuild it, Jim Ross said on his podcast, "Vince kept trying to recreate the dynamic that he had with Hogan. Hence all the saw second chances, next starts, and Hall of Fame. Here's another reason we can bring him back. Vince kept trying to recreate that idyllic relationship they once had. I felt bad for Vince at times because he really wanted the relationship to get back on somewhat of an even keel. It may not be what it used to be, but he wanted to make it better than it was. I'm not sure we accomplished that." With his AEW contract recently expiring, Alan Angels now finds himself as a part of Impact Wrestling. Speaking of Fightful, he made it clear he wants to work with a former Dark Order stablemate, Stu Grayson. "I'm open to whatever. If anything, I'd like to have a match with him, whether that be at C4 or wherever else he wants to go. That would be my main thing. If somebody wants to book us for a tag, I'm open to it. I'm still wearing the Dark Order hat. It's not like I'm kicked out of the group or whatever. I have a New Japan show. It's already taped, with Uno as a tag. Stu leaving was a big thing for all of us, and maybe was part of all of it. I'm open to do whatever with Stu." Talking about AEW on his Hall of Fame podcast, Booker T noted how older members of the roster are put ahead of the younger generation. You see the older guys just coming over to AEW, they're the ones that's getting the titles, they're the ones that's getting the push. You know what I mean? Just like a Darby Allin, you know? Where has his position been since the older guys came in? It's the reason why we haven't seen MJF for a while. It's the reason why no one has said his name, okay? It's the reason, okay? And it's not because this is a work. That's not it, okay? It's because somebody's upset that older guys are coming in and getting pushed over the younger guys. Is it work? We'll find out in the long run. Last night's Money in the Bank pay-per-view was originally set to take place inside Allegiant Stadium, but ended up downsizing to the MGM Grand Garden Arena. According to a report, those in WWE were upset by this. The move surprised some in the company, as the move to more stadium shows had been a big plan for Nick Khan. One source that Fightful spoke with believed that the company should have waited until at least after Hell in a Cell to see how ticket sales changed, and believed that WWE relied too much on the buzz of simply running a stadium show as opposed to the booking selling the show. WWE did announce Money in the Bank before UFC announced a major pay-per-view event for the same night, but everyone we spoke to said that either WWE did or should have expected that. This 4th of July weekend has long been a UFC tradition. WWE has told Fightful along the way they actually had a hold on Allegiant Stadium for the following night as well in case they needed it. Giving advice to pro wrestlers while speaking to Wrestling Inc., WWE Hall of Famer Jimmy Hart said not to negotiate mid-contract. If you can get a job with any company, and that's what you really want to do, go for it. But look, be on time, be dependable. Whatever contract you sign, don't come back 3 weeks later, 3 months later, and go, can I do this? Let whoever runs the company come to you and say, look, you really busted your you-know-what for us. We really love you, and we're going to redo your contract and give you a raise. Because if they're the ones that say it, then they really mean it and are going to put you on a rocket ship to make it work. And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.